Hello friends, welcome back to Cosmopolitan Cornbread. My name is Constance and I've been out here kind of contemplating the garden. I've got little Miss Ruby out here with me. She's chewing things. She is doing good. Little update on her, I suppose. How old is she now? I don't know. 4 or 5 months old. 5 months old, I guess. But she's doing good. She gets along great with the other dogs. I will say that she has been the most challenging dog we have ever had to house train, though. We've never really had any issues house training a dog. Prior to her, Shotzi was the most challenging one, but even he got it in a very short order. Less than a week, he was good to go. She, however, she was a challenge. I was beginning to think we were never going to get this girl housebroke, but it looks like it has finally clicked. I even did some reading, and apparently coonhounds are hard to train. So once I understood that, I'm like, okay, well, we'll just have to be patient. But I think it's finally clicked. She hasn't had any accidents in a while. So I think we are hopefully smooth sailing now with her. But otherwise, you know, she's a great dog. She gets along good with everybody. She is energetic. She is a coonhound. So she likes to play with the other dogs and she'll get excited and she starts barking, but you know, coonhound. So when that happens, I just kick them all outside and make them run around in the backyard. All but Duke, because he's terrified of the backyard. And honestly, which I talked about in another video, we have an electric fence up there to keep them from trying to attack the guineas and chickens and everything else. And Duke is terrified of it, won't go in the backyard anymore, and so I walk him. But really, even before I put the electric fence out there, I had noticed he was having problems with the stairs, because there's a set of stairs that goes from the house down to the backyard. And, you know, he's an older dog. We don't know how old he is exactly, but probably around 10 years old, maybe older. But that's our best guess. He was, like all of our dogs and cats, a rescue. And he was not a puppy when we got him. So it was just kind of best guess as far as his age goes. But I had noticed he was having problems with the stairs, and so taking him for a walk is, you know, it's good for him, being an older dog, to get exercise and all that, to not have to go on the stairs, and really it's good exercise for me, so I don't mind. But now all the dogs are spoiled and they all want to go on those special walks, so I'm walking all of the dogs now. But again, it's good exercise for me too, so I don't mind. But as I started to say, I've been out here contemplating the garden. You know, it's actually kind of nice at the moment. The heat is kind of tapered because the sun is down behind the trees and everything. And I've been thinking about autumn, because when autumn rolls around this year, I'm going to be coming out here, and so that area right there on the other side of these trees is a clearing, and that clearing is going to be the new garden. Now there are a few trees I do want to take down before I build anything, but I've been kind of contemplating what kind of garden I want to build. Now it is going to be some sort of raised bed garden, because you see all those rocks? That is the creek bed, which is completely dry, as you can see right now. But under this little bit of soil that you see right here, it's rock. So whatever kind of garden I build, it will be some sort of raised bed, which does not hurt my feelings whatsoever. Yes, it's an initial investment, but in the long run, I find it easier to control your soil, and it's easier to work in if you're not having to get down on your hands and knees to garden. And you know, the older I get, the easier it is to not be on the ground. And so a raised garden is kind of where I've been headed. What I've been thinking about is, do I want to build wood raised beds, or do I want to utilize this natural resource and build stone beds? I don't know, especially right now with the creek down, because all of this stone is, you know, fully accessible. So I don't know, I'm kind of thinking. Now, of course, it could rain any day and all of this stone could be covered up with water. I could begin grabbing some of the good rocks and putting them up on the bank. So that's what I'm out here kind of thinking about, whether I want to do that or not. Because if the stones are already up on the bank, then if it, you know, starts raining and we get a good bunch of rain to bring the creek back, then I wouldn't have to worry about it and I would still have access to the stonework. So that's what I've been thinking about. It's whether I want to do that or not. I'm really getting anxious. I'm really getting anxious to start working on the new garden. So here's the clearing where my garden is going to be. It is slightly sloped, which is also one of the reasons I want to do the raised beds, because it will be a terraced garden. I think it's going to be a challenge building, but I think it's going to be beautiful in the end. So I'm really excited to get started on doing that. I do have one thing, well, there's two announcements. One is I've been talking to a friend of mine and we've kind of been hashing out the details. So I'm going to be announcing a membership section for Cosmopolitan Cornbread. This is something I've been thinking about for quite a while, but I hadn't really looked into it. I've been contemplating what I could offer for members, and I think I've come up with some pretty great ideas. So be on the lookout for the announcement for that. I have to go through the process of setting it up and everything and writing out all of the details and all of that. But I think, you know, there's been people who've been asking about some of these things, and so if it's something that interests you, then I think you'll like what I'll have to offer. But that will come in a completely different video. I'll talk about that another day. That said, I do have my other announcement for you guys, but let's go down and sit by the creek or the rock bed and we'll talk about that. You know, when we moved here, we kind of downsized a little bit. And while this house is similar, there are certain aspects of it that are a little bit more cozy. And part of that is the kitchen. Now, if you've been around here for a while, you know I have a love for pottery, especially coffee mugs. It is kind of my kryptonite. I have a really hard time passing up a good pottery mug. And in the past, I have had an artist who made custom mugs for me, and I've done mug giveaways. I've had a mug sale, a couple of mug sales. Last year I did a huge order, and you guys just ordered tons of mugs from the artist who made them for me. But recently I've been having a lot of people ask about those mugs, if I'm going to be selling them again. Well, the thing of it is the artist who made all of those mugs for me does not do pottery anymore. She had gone back to school. She wanted to go into the medical field, and so she no longer does them. That said, when I had all of these mugs made, I had a bunch made for me. And I loved every design she did, like every color I loved. And I had one of every color that I had her make for me. And some of them, it was like, oh, I love this one so much. If something happened to it, it got broke, it would break my heart. So maybe I should have two of them. Well, the fact of the matter is I don't have room for all these mugs. And it is time to pare down my collection a little bit. So I have some A Good Life Farm mugs that I was going to keep. They were mine, like many other mugs, but I really don't need this many of them. And so I'm going to do a little giveaway in this video. If you would like one of the mugs, I have 3 different ones that I'm going to put up here on the screen. Now this one right here, mug number 1, is an older design. I will be honest with you, the handle is a little bit on the weaker side. I think it's a little undersized for this mug, so I don't really use it. I loved the design, I loved the color, but the handle made me nervous, so I didn't really use it. But if you like this mug, if you would love it, but you can enter to win this particular mug. This is mug number 2. This is one I had designed. This is also an older style. I love the color. It's sort of kind of a cafe shaped, I guess you could say. Very classic mug design. I liked the two-tone one. This is actually one of the first ones I had made that said A Good Life Farms. This is mug number 2. And then mug number 3. Now this is a color I never made available to the public at all. This is one that was just for me. I did have a few extra ones made that I gave to some close friends, but this again was one that was never made public, never made available. So if you end up getting this mug, there's only, I think, maybe 4 others in existence. So it is a rarity. If you would like one of these mugs, let me know in the comments down below and put the number for the mug that you want to be entered to win. Now to pick the winners, I'm going to use a random comment tool, and I will just have it randomly pick a comment until I find one with mug number 1. I'll find one for mug number 2, and then I'll find one for mug number 3. Now there's been a lot of scammers, a lot of all that nonsense going around on YouTube, on many channels. I will not comment in this video, in the comment section, under anybody letting them know that they won. That is not how it's going to happen. There's been people who have pretended to be me, who have pretended to be other channels, saying that they've won. They say, email me, contact me, and pay for the shipping. That is not how this works. That is not how I do things. When I pick a winner, that winner will be announced visually in a video next week, and it'll be in a video where you are seeing that that's what's going on. I will not notify the winners in the comment section. So if you see something that looks like that, it's not me, it's probably a fraud because they're scammers. Now YouTube has all sorts of rules about giveaways. I will put the complete description and the link with all of their rules in the video information down below here on YouTube. This giveaway, of course, is not affiliated with YouTube or any other entity. It is all me, sponsored by me, and all that good stuff. So now, as far as mugs being available in the future, like I said, the artist who has made all of these mugs for me in the past no longer does pottery. However, I have been kind of looking, and I think I may have found an artist who will be able to make mugs in the future. I am going to reach out to them and potentially do a mug order next year, maybe in the springtime. But I won't be doing it anytime soon. But I will discuss it with them, work out the details, see what the price point is going to be, because again, I don't want to have mugs that cost $80. I think that's ridiculous. So if I can find an artist who can make good mugs and do them at a price point that I think is reasonable, then I will see about doing that. So again, if you would like to be entered to win one of the mugs, make sure you put the number of the mug that you would like, mug number 1, mug number 2, or mug number 3. And that is how you will enter. So that is it for today. Thanks for hanging out with me here at the homestead. My name is Constance from Cosmopolitan Cornbread, and I'll talk to y'all next time.